our investors, private sector. I'm very glad to see a lot of them here. Dr. Tambi has left, Volcano Coffee, the reason we are here. Thank you very much for coming. Our partners, government partners, BOU, welcome, UNBS. I'll consider Chamber of Commerce as our partner, government partner. DITAU, thank you very much for coming. My colleagues at Uganda Investment Authority, there are a few of you here. Thank you for your work. But before we move, I want to call one of our previous colleagues. She retired recently, but this journey of the SME portal started with her. So Winnie, Awoko, former director of the SME division of UIA Domestic Investment, come and say something, 1 minute or so. So this journey started with her. So please.
The program will not work unless you address productivity. So I think this portal is going to see us, its final destination is for us to have a platform for SME credit vetting and scoring and agricultural credit scoring. Thank you so much, DG.
I want to welcome you. First of all, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. I want to thank our partners. USAID, Feed the Future, MTN, thank you for coming on board. And I know we have just started the journey. We're going to walk along this journey together. So thank you for coming. Feed the Future is part of USAID. You know, Honorable Minister, 2 years ago, you indicated, or you instructed us, that we should shift from the SME division and make it the domestic investment division of Uganda Investment Authority. You know, there's always this UIA, international investors, there's that confusion, but we are here for investors, both domestic and international investors. The incentives that apply to our domestic investors, to our international investors, actually apply to our domestic investors. So for us, this launch of this SME portal is absolutely critical. I ask myself this question: if you have an international investor coming to our country and wants to link up with someone here, where do they go? And this is what the SME portal for me is about. You have our investors, domestic investors. I want to go away from just calling them SMEs. These are creating jobs for our people. They are domestic investors. Someone from the US, for example, wants to buy coffee. Why does he need to go through the bureaucracy that we have? Go to the portal, link up with the SME or a domestic investor that we have profiled. So the international investor should be proud or should know that we have gone through the compliance system. If he's on our portal, you can deal with them directly. Go ahead and do the business deal. So for me, the SME portal is beyond just getting SMEs and putting them in the portal and listing them by sector. For me, it's about enhancing the investment environment in our country and removing that bureaucracy and allowing international investors to deal directly with a business person here, because I think businesses know, they discuss, they know how to engage, and do the deals. So I look forward to the SME portal deals being done. And so after a year or so, we should come back, look at the portal and see how much money has been made from investors internationally, linking up with our domestic investors, doing a deal online without bureaucracy. For me, this is the value of this SME portal. The other day, I was on Google. Sometimes I Google the president, and he said the PO box money is Uganda. PO box, if you want to make money, PO box money is Uganda. There's a lot of money here. It's very true. There's a lot of money in this entrepreneurship. These young people, you have 17.5, the average age of Uganda. People are educated, people are willing to work, they have ideas. Get on our portal. Let us profile you, ensure if you have capacity issues, we work with USAID, we work with MTN, we work with our partners. Build your capacity so that you are ready to link directly with an international investor. And do the deal. So for me, we are just here to facilitate SMEs to do deals and make money. I don't want, there are many other partners that we've got, the USIA, Uganda Small Scale Industries Association. There is another one, the Federation of Small Scale Industries. They are part of our partners here. They do very great work in the SME space. This is not to take over or to compete. We work with them, but for us, let's go the other level. And they help in organizing the SMEs. Let's go to the next level and let the SMEs just make money. So I will concentrate on that when I'm looking at the KPIs of my entities who are dealing with this SME portal, how much money has the domestic investor made. That for me is the only measure. We shall go beyond that and let us now, and I know we have very many partners who will work with us, beyond just profiling them, we should go beyond that and develop bankable projects. So you give an idea to a local investor or to a domestic investor and say this is a project in coffee, it's a project in shea butter, return on investment, you only put $40,000, return on investment is whatever percentage, you recover your money in 5 years, here is it. So we as Uganda Investment Authority will develop those bankable projects and give them free to these entities, so that you can look for your partners internationally or even mobilize your own money and do these projects. So once you're on our portal, you'll be able to access this and benefit from that. Our incentives. For me, again, this is trying to demystify the international versus domestic investment. The incentives for domestic investors, the threshold is even lower for domestic investors than international investors. So we are hoping that if you are on this portal, one way to access our incentives is through this. We formalize, we shall support you to get registered, get our investment license, which will give you 48 hours maximum. Access the incentives of Uganda Investment Authority. You are an SME, $50,000 minimum of turnover of money, not money in the bank, but $50,000 business. You can access land in an industrial park, free land. A land industrial park is not sold. Free land for the domestic investor. So we're going to build 25 industrial parks across the country. There will be SME incubation points at these industrial parks, which are free. But again, since you are going into production, value addition, you also get access to that land. The reason all these industrial parks are regional is to democratize industrialization. Not only Kampala, not only Jinja, Nebi should have an industrial park, Kisoro should have one. Karamoja should have an industrial park, Mbale should have an industrial park. You don't need to come to Kampala to add value to your products in Karamoja. The park will be there. And you can access that park free as a domestic investor. You'll have the electricity there, you'll have the water there, you'll have the security, you'll have the SME park, you have internet cable. Basically, you come in and plug and play. So this is also to encourage you, go and benefit from our incentives. A lot of you SMEs do import plant and machinery here, but you pay tax for that plant and machinery for value addition. Get a UIA investment license. This plant and machinery that you import is free of tax. It is your right, it's your incentive. So my hope is with the SME portal, once you're there, we shall, and that's something we should add on the portal, the incentives and how to be able to access them for our domestic investors. Of course, we are the one-stop center. I'm very glad that UNBS is here. Thank you for putting people at the UIA one-stop center. All investors, domestic and international, come to Uganda Investment Authority. You get all the services of government for business and investment. You'll get the NIRA, the national ID is in the office, immigration, work permits, because some of you SMEs might need international expertise that you don't have here. You can get work permits from the Uganda Investment Authority, and you bring those stuff to work for you. URSB is in the one-stop center, Uganda Investment Authority. Register the business. URA is in the one-stop center. Get a TIN number. When you finish that, there is a bank. DTB is at the one-stop center. So our idea is you walk in, register your business, get a TIN number, open the bank account, and move out and start doing business. So as a domestic investor, you should be able to benefit from all that. So for me, my value for this SME portal is we need to enhance our middle class. We need to just facilitate the conversation between the businesses. Be it domestic investors talking to each other to get deals done, or international investors coming together and talking together doing that. For me, that's it. And we shall try as much as possible to ensure that we continue to make ourselves more current relevant. The other day, my man from Volcano Coffee, you remember there was the head of the SME for India, just from my Twitter, saw what I was doing with you and you got in touch, now you're going to sell coffee to India. She should be able, and I'm in touch with her now, to just connect her SMEs in India to our SME portal. And you just talk directly. So for me, this is what we'll continue doing. So with that, really, I would like to thank again the sponsors, our partners, my colleagues, UIA. I know it has been a journey, but we are here. The work has just started. The person who talked about an app, that is very critical. Shouldn't we have to go to a website and to a computer?
But when it comes to the digital aspect, this is when we realize that these things we are talking about of artificial intelligence, fourth industrial revolution, were not a thing of the future, right? They were a thing of now. And every one of us was struggling. I remember the bufferings that did happen with meetings. Some of you used to buffer those meetings by intention because probably you're not ready or they called your name and you weren't paying attention to, so you freeze. Automatically freeze. When they ask you, freeze. When they leave you, then the network becomes better. We know that also happened intentionally. But the internet of doing things is the now and it is the future. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we talk about digital payments. We're talking about cashless economy, where I can be able to move. Back in the day, you would say, I have to move with some money. I may step someone's ginats on the road. You know, when we still had roadside vendors, eh? The government has probably cleared that, so you're not going to step on anyone's merchandise. Feel free to move with money on your card or on your phone, and you'll be able to pay. And I'd like to invite MTN Uganda, Mr. Ibrahim Senyonga, the General Manager, MTN Business, to come and speak about these digital payments and just how much more. I love that earlier we asked if we can allow for cross-border transactions, which was clearly elaborated. So ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to Mr. Ibrahim Senyonga from MTN Business to come and speak to us.
And the man who knows why will always be his boss. As MTN, we are grateful for this partnership with the Uganda Investment Authority, bringing to life a portal that will expose investors to the SME sector. The National SME Portal is an online one-stop center that will offer aggregated information and data on SMEs, business ideas, technology, skills development of local enterprises through linkages and business service providers in Uganda. Next week, in line with that, MTN Business will be repositioning as an ICT player. Believe me or you, there will be a lot in the kitchen for our SMEs. At MTN, we believe everyone deserves the benefits of a modern connected world, connecting businesses to businesses, businesses to opportunities, and businesses to knowledge. This way, we can get business done better. Our ambition, 2025, is to lead solutions from an ICT perspective for Africa. What we are launching today is in line with this ambition. We are indeed very proud of this partnership, and Uganda Investment Authority, from the perspective of our partnership, has full backing of MTN. MTN is pleased to report that MTN Mobile Money is enabling payments for businesses that will be on this platform, driving e-commerce adoption. SMEs can also leverage the 9,500 kilometers of fiber we have, border to border. On average, on a monthly basis, we have about 8,000 SMEs getting onboarded onto this connection. In the next couple of years, in all sectors that bind SMEs that drive SMEs that guide them, because we believe success will depend on collective effort, since together we are unstoppable. Further to this, we plan to leverage the engagement framework that is already existing with Uganda Investment Authority, that with SMEs, including the National SME Portal, to continuously introduce SMEs to ICT solutions that will bring efficiencies to this business. We have heard about solutions like cloud, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, unified communication, API. API is simply software that enables platforms to speak to each other. Software-defined network, hosted PBX, security as a service, fiber to the home, fiber to the office. SMEs are going to have an opportunity to leverage this. Recently, someone said digitization is the ink in which our future will be written, and true so. We thank and we give extra thanks to Uganda Investment Authority for the consideration of partnering with MTN, because together we are unstoppable.
I wanted to convey the apologies of the chairman of the board of the authority, Mr. Morrison Rakakamba, who couldn't make it, but myself and my colleagues are here. Our board is a small board. We are 7 people, I think, but Godfrey, who represents the Ministry of Finance, Dr. Joshua Mutambi from Commissioner with the Ministry of Trade, and Honorable Beatrice Mpiri, and myself are here. We recognize the importance of this particular point in our journey, and I want to repeat how important it is for everyone involved. I would like to thank the team here. The Investment Authority is a very, very busy place. Richard and his team have been burning the midnight candle to try and make the portal a reality. It's been a journey of a couple of years, and so it gives me great pleasure to see that we're essentially crossing the Rubicon and getting to a place where things are going to start happening. It's embarrassing. And it is not because we're not doing enough to give you the tools. Between 2022 and 2021, UIA incentives, what we call deferred revenue, the investment that the government puts in your hand, averaged 2.4 trillion. It's not small money. So the government is deferring revenue, transferring that to you in the form of both domestic and foreign investors, in the form of tax breaks and all these incentives. 2.4 trillion, that's a huge investment by the Ugandan taxpayer. Okay? So it's embarrassing that our small businesses are not growing at the rate that the infrastructure available to them, including this portal, provides. So you have to close the gap between our potential, okay, and what you're doing. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the urgency of the situation. I see my friend Anthea from Apatis, that we don't want you to fail. You know, I have a slide on my laptop which has a death valley. The death valley is where businesses go, get stuck and die. Okay? They have investment, but they can't generate enough cash flows to get out of that curve. And the curve is defined by these things which I'm going to leave you with. One, they can't raise enough capital. How do you fix that? So there's a financing mechanism here. And places for like the Bank of Uganda's agricultural facility. I see my friend Eraya here who's very passionate about financing small businesses. And one of the most aggressive programs is by the Uganda Development Bank. I don't know, Eraya, people know you can start up. You don't have the resources, you're not building your capacity, you don't have enough financing. you get weary and tired, and most of them drop out. Okay? We don't want you to fail. Our intention is that you continue to succeed. And please, count on us. We're all in the same family. We're all one community. Come to the Investment Authority, get an investment license, take advantage of this architecture that is available, paid for by the Ugandan taxpayer. Okay? And then let's grow and sustain our optimism and march towards a much brighter future. I thank you very much, and I thank you, Honorable Minister.
And of people to accept that feedback. I thought that such dialogues of having private sector very vocal, government vocal, actively listening, representatives from the chamber listening and feeling energized to offer to support the development of this SME portal. USAID has actually launched its own global digital strategy, which aims to improve development outcomes through the use of digital technology. As we've heard from our presenters today, digital ecosystems, which consist of stakeholders, systems, and enabling environments, empower people and communities to use technology to access services, engage with others, and pursue economic opportunities in our partner countries like Uganda. Globally, the US government is working toward a future, as we've discussed today, where digital technologies promote inclusive growth, foster resilient and democratic societies, and empower all, including the most vulnerable. USAID hosted registration, taxes, finance, and marketing on one single platform. That's amazing. Digital platforms like UIA's portal offer significant benefits, such as cost reduction, improved operational efficiencies, access to new customers, and enhanced business growth. Such innovative digital solutions will enable Uganda's SMEs to stay competitive, profitable, and successful in local and hopefully global markets, as mentioned this morning. Many of us have witnessed the current rapid global technological transformation. We see governments and the private sector making efforts to establish affordable and resilient digital infrastructure and services to help individuals, businesses, and the public sector cope with all of these changes. The operationalization of it and other related digital platforms will improve planning, governance, risk management, monitoring and evaluation, resource management, and workflow management. We believe that digital solutions like UIA's SME portal will deliver critical services to the poorest segments of Ugandan society, create more jobs, strengthen small and medium businesses, enable trade and services, and above all, build resilience to shocks. I'm happy to note that business development service providers are already profiled on the portal to foster even more private sector growth. Today marks a milestone in our support for digital transformation. Now that UIA has a functional SME digital platform, I urge UIA to leverage opportunities presented by USAID's current drive to digitize systems of public and private sector organizations. A broader interconnected digital ecosystem will significantly improve the flow of goods and services, enhance specialization, and have a positive influence on Uganda's economic growth. So I think we heard a little bit about that this morning of making sure platforms are speaking to each other, and I heard some great responses to those questions. But we encourage everyone to integrate their standalone systems so that they speak to each other.
Better joy that you find in entrepreneurship than if you're in politics. If you're in politics, they'll always be telling you, when you drive, when you dress, when you cough, when you talk, they say taxpayers' money, taxpayers' money. Correct? But when you're in business, it is your sweat, right? So let us clap for all those who are in business. And I want to thank the agencies who are here, and I'm very, very excited that we are doing the SME portal launch today. My interest is in the functionality of the SME portal. Now, when we're in politics, we make big statements, we shall do this for you, we'll do that for you. Sometimes when we don't do, we say you didn't vote right, or when we do, we fail to do, we shall always have to give an excuse that we shall do it in the next government. But when we're in business, we have to get it done. correct? Now, our president is a businessman as well. And he's been championing doing business in the country. And he's been telling politicians to move away from politicking and looking at it as a career, but looking at business as their career. So for me, I'm very, very excited to be talking and being a student of His Excellency the President, listening to him and giving me this job of being the Minister of Investment. I felt tempted to move away from being a politician, but being in that area where you create jobs, which is the 4 sectors of the growth, which contribute to the growth of our economy. And as you've seen, the 4 sectors do not include politics. So whatever we're doing here is strictly about business. And when we want to talk business, you have to ask us, what are the enabling environments? Or what are the enablers that we have put as government together to ensure that you do your business effectively? So I believe that the SME portal is one of them. But perhaps I have to start from what is very key for us. And I want to make it very interactive because I don't want to put it in your mouth, so that if you say it correctly and I'll say, yes, we're doing the right thing. So I want to ask someone who is in commercial agriculture. Anyone in commercial agriculture? Just put up your hand because I'm going to ask you the question. Yes. What do you value most as a business person and that you feel that government has to have it in place? We want to start from repairing the feeder roads. And you will see that we have put money per district, 1 billion as government, to ensure that the roads are done very well so that you are able to take your product to the nearest market. But not only have we done that, you've seen us connecting roads between Uganda and DRC, between Uganda and Rwanda, linking from Uganda being a landlocked country, linking us between Uganda. We're now having ship that we have put, the Pamba and Kawa, connecting us to Tanzania through the water. Because connectivity is very, very important, and that's what he's talking about, market. And that is what government is doing. But we are just talking about linking you to the regional market of 300 million people. But our president has gone further to linking you not only to the regional market, but linking us to the African Free Trade Zone of having 1.4 billion people. Now, his challenge being market, access to market. We've moved ahead, and I want to, before I stretch it internationally, how many people in agriculture and also just in business generally believe that access to market is a challenge? Good. All of you. So I need to explain this more. So we have to make sure that we put quality products in the market. If you're not going to handle your product very well, by the way, I manufacture 5 different products. And as a businesswoman, and I will tell you that the customer will not take your product if the product is not packaged well. So packaging of your product, getting the certificates. UNBS is here, they will tell you. UNBS has had to come annual, every year I have to certify my products. Now I know that there are some investors who tell me, local Ugandans tell me, they think the amount that UNBS is charging is too high. UNBS, what do you plan to do for us to bring that down?
The starting point is to appreciate that we need to have products on the market to make sure that our products are competitive locally and internationally. Now, if we start from there, then whatever cost that will come, we'll appreciate it. Just like we pay for electricity and other fixed costs, overheads, that is for us as entrepreneurs, as business people. 2, as UNBS, we have interventions that we have started. As you may be aware, we did a reduction of fees from 800 to 500.
Good.
And we continue to look at the processes. In summary, there are things that are to be done by us as entrepreneurs, by us as regulators, that's UNBS, and other actors.
Civil servant come knowing that Anite will pick you. So, access to credit. As government, the president announced that COVID hit all of us, and because of that, we must have a package for SMEs like yourselves, that we must have this money to a tune of 200 billion. How many of you has accessed the money yet? And remember when Kampala, nobody has accessed. Bank of Uganda, can you come and explain what's happening with our money? Thank you. We are happy. I like the organizers. Thank you for inviting the relevant officers. Please, let's first clap for PO. To the people that you've employed, do not think that they have your interest at heart. They are just there to do the work. If you don't guide them, if you do not watch your business, I tell you for a fact, I have 3 businesses, I cannot sleep. By midnight, I have to get financial reports. By midnight. You're in hospitality, you have to put someone at the gate from the watchman to tell you how many people entered your business that day. Yes. Because you're watching, monitoring your business remotely, they will tell you, no, madam, today the business was very bad. Nobody cared. Before you know it, they were actually selling their products. They go and bring their product. They start their business in your business. So you have to be very, very hands-on with your business. Record keeping. Don't allow them to do any transaction without writing it down. Because that's where we get it wrong. If an accountant tells you, no, let us not pay VAT, you just know that that VAT you dodged government, you have dodged it into his or her pocket. So you will think that, okay, they're actually telling you something that can make you save money. They present it to you as though you are actually going to save money, but in other words, they're trying to create a system where they can start robbing you. Because as a business owner, you're not there full time. So do not allow shortcuts in doing your business. Because we're in a competitive world. Everybody is competing. The competition in business is perhaps higher than the competition in politics. But here you've got to be very hands-on and keep your records and do marketing. Now I'm very aggressive in doing marketing, probably because I studied mass communication and majored in PR, and I know. But I want to tell you from my own experience and to you that doing marketing for your product is very, very key. Even you see them here, they've put banners everywhere because they understand that marketing is key. So if you don't market your business, nobody is going to go for your product. It's as simple as that. So what is government doing? We're telling you that let us digitalize systems. I loved the presentation of Joshua. It was very, very exciting. Oh, Joshua is actually neater. What I thought that we needed to emphasize is that we have brought down the internet prices from making it 1,200, call it megabytes per second, to now 35 megabytes per second. So we are even going further. The only country which competes with us in the region is Kenya. So we want to take the internet bandwidth down and further down. Because I was teasing my DG, I told him that, bring me, I want to check practically. I want to see. How many of you have actually tested that portal? Because I'm closing. So tell them out of experience.
Now, the experience about the website, it takes a while to load.
How have you done it? Where's your phone? Because we want to see. I don't want UIA to demonstrate this. Those of us who are in this room, if we go out without understanding this portal, that means that the portal has failed.
Go to
This
the
is-
first one.
Okay?
Yes, the first one.
You see, I am suffering as a minister. How about the other person?
It's actually easy.
Uh-huh.
Scan.
So options, link, good. So it shows that the SME portal. And then what happens next? Who has succeeded?
I have it, yeah.
6, 5. We come together. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. The SME portal is officially launched. Uganda Investment Authority.
We've launched the SME portal, which is an online way of connecting Ugandan small and medium enterprises with the market and with opportunity to be able to have a joint venture partners, and also a portal that will enable them to be able to have access to the incentives that government provides for the domestic investors. Government under the able leadership of President Museveni deliberately decided to support SMEs or Ugandans who are into value addition. And the first thing that he did was to start a whole development bank for manufacturers, for those in agribusiness, for those in services, and those in ICT sector. And this is also to enable them to have access to affordable but long-term credit with lower interest rates. So if you compare the interest rates that the government gives through the bank, which is now for the large enterprises, and some packages are for small enterprises and some are for the medium enterprises, it's as low as 12%, and that is in UDB. Also in Postbank, government has injected money and commercialized UDB Postbank to make sure that they also have the SME department to provide money for the SMEs. But away from that, government has gotten in place recovery projects or programs like investing 200 billion, 100 billion from government and 100 from the participating banks. All this to ensure that the SMEs that suffered collapse during COVID are able to recover. And this is being channeled out through Uganda Central Bank, working with the participating banks to be able to give this money to the SMEs, because we do appreciate that many of our banks or many of our businesses collapsed, and these are the SMEs, and the bulk of the population of Uganda is in the SME, those who are doing value addition and that they're starting small businesses. So what government did was to make sure that the money is available, 100 billion, and participating banks provided 100 billion, making it a total of 200 billion. And this is a recovery fund that we've put available, and interest rate for this is lower than the regular one, which is 12%. This one goes as low as 10%. And repayment periods are even longer. You can start repaying after 2 years. And so additionally to that, we had clustered the country into different sizes. There are those who are in the money economy, the middle class, and those who are outside the money economy. Those who are in subsistence agriculture. Now, the 38% of the population, which is outside the money economy, we have made sure that for them to come and become SMEs and do commercial agriculture, we have invested 1.4 trillion under the PDM, which is translated as 100 million per parish, for them to be able to do agriculture and do value addition. And we've invested like over 500 billion under Imyoga for those other SMEs who are into boda, tailoring, hair making, among others, for them to be able to do that, the Jokali, those who are doing that. So we've clustered our citizens to ensure that everybody benefits from the initiative and the programs of government. For me, that was a program moment for me. It was like, how do I run? It's like, I felt it was so sad that nobody has accessed the funds from UDB, nobody has accessed the recovery fund, and we are launching the SME portal, and we've gotten SMEs from all over Uganda. So yes, it was a sad moment, but it is an opportunity for those implementing agencies and for myself as government minister to ensure that we talk more about this product. But we also got to know that we have problem with the implementing agencies. They are hiding these government programs down. They're not popularizing it. So we've come up with strategies and discussed strategy with the BOU heads of finance, Mr. Richard, that we have to make sure that we go and market these products in those participating banks to make sure that people get to know. Because if you don't do marketing of your product, then it's a challenge. So as government, we have to just move away from doing the policies or writing them in black and white, but going down to implementing the policies and popularizing the policies to Ugandans to get to know so that they can access the packages that we have for them. This portal is not only launched by government, no. This is government and private sector, and also foreign government. I want to commend MTN because they've come to join hands with government to ensure that MTN is moving away from just selling you airtime and data among others to also doing business. So I am very happy that they're here, and I want to understand from them more why they chose this route. But I believe that they've listened to the call of the president. And the USAID have also joined together with government to ensure that we do this. So what do we think that is going to happen? We think that first, corruption is going to be cut out. Red tape is going to be cut out. Corruption is part of red tape. Because initially, everybody had to come to Uganda Investment Authority to get an incentive, or go to Ministry of Finance, or go to URA, go to all these other agencies to be able to get their businesses supported with the incentives. Now, with this portal, all the services are going to be put online. The incentives, you don't have to come to my office, you don't have to go to the Director General of UIA's office, you just have to go to the portal and you will get all the services. Additionally, you will be linked to the market. The DG just told you that he was able to connect one of the Ugandans who wanted to sell coffee with an international market, and the coffee is being bought. So we are collecting and linking Ugandans to the market. Those Ugandans who are doing value addition and they do not know geographically where, for instance, Turkey is located. They do not have to know the geographical location of Turkey. They just have to go to the UIA SME portal and click that they are searching for someone who can buy the product in Turkey. And UIA would have vetted that person from Turkey, from Europe, from US, and link them up through the portal, and they start the talk and they start delivering their product. So we're linking them to the market. We're linking them to access to credit. We're linking them up through the portal to the UDB, Postbank, and Agricultural Recovery Fund. So generally speaking, we're linking them to access to credit. So we shall be solving issues like market, access to credit, and efficiency. And most importantly, cutting out corruption, because the machines cannot rob you.
It is very critical and important to understand that for SMEs, MTN has digitized payments in this. We believe that for SMEs to grow, they need scalability. They need that visibility to sell, their produce beyond the district, beyond the country, and beyond the continent. So that opportunity, as MTN, we are providing. We are providing capabilities in terms of connectivity. We have a fiber footprint of 9,500 kilometers. That is massive. And we've seen continuously that SMEs are onboarding. We have over 7,000 buildings across Kampala that are connected onto fiber. Some of them are multi-tenant. So we enable them access the Uganda Investment portal. So that partnership is very critical for us. And having over 18 million subscribers, many of them are SMEs. So we keep asking ourselves, what more can we do for these SMEs? So these strategic partnerships are very, very critical. Recently, government launched the digitization agenda 2025-2027. And we think it is very critical for us to plug in as MTN, as the private sector, in line with the national agenda. So everything we do, we've aligned towards that agenda to see that we support omuntu wa wansi, muntu wa bulijjo. It is very critical for us as a private sector to support, because the more the SMEs grow, that means we'll employ more Ugandans as MTN on that side. We shall also create more jobs. If you look at mobile money, how many merchants, how many agents survive off, the mobile money as a business? So many. So we need to expand more. Once the SMEs grow, they are big ones waiting to happen. The more they grow, the more opportunities that come through. I was in the banking sector for over 20 years, joined MTN about 3 years ago. A meg was at $320 then. Now today, I sell less than Nita-U. Nita-U was selling at $75. They've cut by 50%, about $35. But I do sell up to $20 a meg. And we've also enabled other ISPs, over 33 internet service providers that buy from MTN, and they buy as low as 10, 15%, $15 a meg. So it is very important for us also to highlight that 3-4 years ago, fiber cable was only for the banks, the bigger corporates. But now, an ordinary SME can get unlimited internet at only 130,000 shillings. 130,000. That is so low. So there is a lot you can do with that level of connectivity for your small business to scale. So in as far as I understand, it is always important to get the right product for your business. So if you are an SME, you engage SME enterprise business to give you the solutions that meet the requirements of your business. I think that is something that we can sort.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me thank the Honourable Minister for coming. Very practical. You could see now the portal works. We shall solve the internet issues, but we also thank the partner MTN and USAID really for coming and joining us in this journey. It's a journey, we are going to go through it together. Part of the roadmap to ensure that this SME portal is actualized is to go around the country, all the regions, popularize it. We have, of course, our regional one-stop centers as Uganda Investment Authority, where this SME portal and our staff will be engaging. But with USAID, support Feed the Future, we are going to have a regional approach all over the country, because we also have to get people onto the SME portal. So all these Muntu as you speak about, all the small businesses in the different regions, we need to onboard them onto our portal. But there's an element of capacity building, there's an element of education, how you get onto that. So we shall go to each region to be able to populate this portal, and with that we shall educate them and all that, how to access the markets. Our major goal, as I said in my speech, was really the SMEs need to be making money. We have to link them with people who will buy their products, but also prepare them to be able to be competitive globally. So if you want to sell to Turkey, you want to sell to UK, you should be able to have that conversation with whoever wants those products globally. So also prepare them, build that capacity. So this is an ongoing process, but I want to look forward in the next few years that the new Amazon for Africa is our SME portal. We start trading from here. The Honourable Minister ordered chai here. It's coming to UIA. Why can't someone do that in Turkey, in the US, from our people here? So we shall depend very much on the advice of the Bank of Uganda and all the regulators to ensure that the money, particularly of our SMEs and our business people, is protected. That is very critical for us. And of course, with partners like MTN, with the partners like other banks which have digital services, we ensure that we use the protections already embedded for that to happen.
How much money are people paying to use this platform? Like, is there any kind of money to be paid, or maybe at the end?
No. This is a free platform. For us, we are connecting. Uganda Investment Authority is profiling and connecting them to the market. So no one should charge you to be on our platform of the SME portal. It is free, managed by Uganda Investment Authority. Ours is, as Honourable Minister said, just connect the people and the markets and get out of the bureaucracy. So we help profile who is going to buy from you. We also help profile the people who are on the SME portal, because we also want that the person who orders outside the country has a reliable supply, is also dealing with someone that is reliable. So definitely this is a free service provided by Uganda Investment Authority and government, and also with the support of our partners, MTN, US government. Thank you very much.
To do the interview with the Minister, Honorable Anite. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Whoever took on my file,